Dama, oh yeah, Jello, oh yeah,
with non-stop Afro music from around Africa.
I be like Terminator, I deliver.
The party comes alive only on one dial.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know what's popping right now. I'm a piano, I am playing.
Upright.
Ladies and gentlemen,
genuity,
honesty,
restitude.
Omoluwabi Radio, that is what we represent. Keep listening to the voice of integrity. Omoluwabi 87.7 FM. When you hear the word integrity, what comes to your mind?
Uprightness, genuity,
honesty,
restitude.
Omoluwabi Radio, that is what we represent. Keep listening to the voice of integrity. Omoluwabi
Radio
87.7
FM. Join Stephen Adedigba and his guests for engaging discussions and in-depth analysis. Get the latest news, insight, and expert opinions on the topics that shape our nation. Join the conversation every Saturday at 9 a.m. and stay up to date on current events only on Omoluwabi Radio 87.7 FM. Don't miss it.
Time after time, there's something always up for discussion.
I'm appealing therefore to Nigerians, to government, to labor. The problem we have now is not going to be solved by increment.
I had proposed earlier 100,000.
You feel that is realistic?
Well, it's still subject to negotiation at the moment. But what I feel should be the benchmark should be 100,000 naira.
Get yourself the front row seat as Stephen Adedigba takes you on the jolly ride through the political and social events happening in our society. Join the discourse every Saturdays from 9 to 10 a.m. only on Omoluwabi Radio 87.7 FM, where beat by beat analysis of all the discussions and controversies surrounding national issues are brought to the table and analyzed in detail, all for your listening pleasure. The discourse, keeping you informed, educated, and updated.
A wonderful morning greetings to you. I welcome you to yet another exciting edition of The Discourse on Omoluwabi 87.7 FM, where we bring you the best of news, talk, and of course quality music. Today won't be an exception of the usual great contents we bring for your listening pleasure. I am Stephen Adedigba, and I'll be your anchorman on the show this morning. Of course, you know how we do it on a weekly basis. We treat some of the salient national issues, we bring them to the fore of discussion. You share your thoughts, ideas about some of those issues. We have experts who share their views about some of those issues too. Then we also take the opinions of our listeners. Like I said earlier, this is Omoluwabi 87.7 FM. Stephen Adedigba reporting for duty on the show this morning. Don't forget that you can also stream us live on Facebook at Omoluwabi 87.7 FM. You can also listen on Radio Garden for people in diaspora. When the time comes, we'll share the studio line so that you can share your thoughts about some of the major national issues. Our focus today is on three things. The very first one is on National Orientation Agency and, of course, their project, National Identity Project. And of course, I have someone who I'm going to be telling you about very, very soon. We also consider the pros and cons in relations to the issues of reforms under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We have our in-house analysts who are going to be sharing some thoughts about some of those things. And just after that, there's an issue of great concern that has led to young people going to the streets in Ogbomoso earlier this morning. That's the issue in relations with the bad road, deplorable state of road within Ogbomoso Ilorin axis. And you know, that's very, very sad. It has claimed hundreds of lives. People who have lost their lives as a result of the deplorable state of that road. So you can take your time to listen well attentively on the show this morning. All right, in case you just tuned in, this is Omoluwabi 87.7 FM. And of course, this morning, like I said, the very first focus on the show would be the issues with National Orientation Agency. And this morning, I have the singular honor of having the Deputy Director of Human Resource from the National Orientation Agency, the Oyo State Directorate, representing the Oga Patapata here in Ibadan, who unavoidably won't be able to be in the studio with us based on some other salient assignments that she had to attend to this morning. So we have Mr. Aderogba Akanbi joins us live, representing Dr. Olukemi Afolayan, Director, National Orientation Agency, Oyo State. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, listeners.
Absolutely. Of course, I've introduced you, but it's important that many of our listeners get to know you more. I want you to introduce yourself to our listeners this morning.
Once again, good morning, listeners. I am Aderogba Akanbi, Deputy Director, Human Resources Management, Oyo State Directorate of the National Orientation Agency.
All right, it's so great having you join us live in the studio this morning, Mr. Akanbi, as you join us live in the studio. Let's touchlight some of the major things. You know, so many people are probably not so clear about the ideas in relations to what the National Orientation Agency do precisely. So I want you to share your thoughts in that regards this morning. What are some of the focus, the project, and of course the mandate of the National Orientation Agency?
The NOA, in short, National Orientation Agency, came into existence in 1993. The NOA is an offshoot of the then DSM, Directorate for Social Mobilization, popularly known as MAMSA. MAMSA came into existence in 1987. In 1993, it became National Orientation Agency. What do we do at NOA? What do we stand for? What is our mandate? At NOA, we stand as publicity organ of the federal government. Let me add that we are under the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation Agency.
Okay.
We sensitize people on government programs, activities, and policies of the government. We also give publicity to it, and we mobilize favorable opinion and support for government programs and activities. Also, we also provide feedback function.
So, I mean, if you hear something from members of the public, you are like the ear for the government to give them feedback.
That is what we also do.
Okay, let me take you up on that, Mr. Aderogba, this morning. The National Orientation Agency, so many things as a feedback. Let's look at this. What are some of those things that are feedback from members of the public that your own agency, National Orientation Agency, has been able to communicate effectively to the presidency? I mean, people at the respective corridors of power.
Let me start by saying that in the course of our programs and activities, we gauge people's opinion, especially on topical issues.
Okay.
Current topical issues and issues of importance. So from there, we get our report and we write our report and submit. Let me also add that we have offices in all the 774 local government areas of Nigeria, and we have officers there. They are the ones that carry out all our grassroots programs. So when they meet people, they gauge their opinions.
Okay. So as far as Nigeria is so concerned now, what do you consider one of the outcry of Nigerians?
Presently, we know about it. We've been writing our reports.
Oh, you've been writing reports about it?
I am coming.
Okay.
We are writing our reports regularly about it.
Okay.
We all know that the present challenge is, or let me say, are two.
Okay.
The issues of being power.
Okay.
And the issue of the PMS, petroleum.
The hike in fuel price.
Yes. So those are the two issues. We've been doing our bit, especially in that area. And more so, we know that the federal government is not folding his arms. The federal government has rolled out numerous social interventions to caution the effect of all these things that we are saying.
Mr. Adirogba, I would like to pick you up on that. There have been several efforts made by this present administration to ensure that the effect of fuel subsidy is cushioned. But Nigerians are still crying. People are so concerned. People are saying there's no food. Salary has not increased, despite the approval of, most states are already saying that, okay, we are ready to start paying the new minimum wage. But the new minimum wage is not even enough for Nigerians. I mean, young people on the street, people who are jobless, who have nothing to eat. So many people are so hungry. You know, in the last 3 days, bag of rice is now 95,000, close to 100,000 naira. And you said your own agency is trying to get some feedbacks to government to tell them about some of the outcry. Are we going to continually throw rice to everything in Nigeria, Mr. Adirogba?
Not so.
Okay.
That is not it.
Okay.
Let me talk about the minimum wage first.
Okay.
The minimum wage we are talking about by the federal government have started. The federal government have started paying workers the new minimum wage. And let me tell you that we are saying it is the minimum. That is the minimum an officer in the federal civil service.
Mr. Adirogba, you've gotten the new minimum wage?
I do.
You have? Okay.
I do.
Okay.
At least.
So you are speaking the voice of the civil servants in Nigeria?
Quite different
from what you were getting?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So what I'm saying in essence is that the minimum wage is 70.
Yes.
And that is for officer on grade level 1, step 1. So, in fact, we hardly have grade level 1, step 1 in the civil service anymore. So, nobody around grade level 5 will come and tell me that he is receiving anything less than 100,000 naira, which to some extent is
100,000 naira, Mr. Adirogba.
A long way.
For someone who has a car, who has to drive to the office, staying in his house, paying house rent, buying food at home, what will 100,000 naira do in this present day economy?
Someone earning 100,000 naira or below and owns a car, I want to believe he's doing some other things extra in addition to the salary.
Okay.
The salary is not for a car. So that is what I'm trying to say. And that is why the federal government is even encouraging citizens to patronize buses. The federal government is rolling out very soon buses, commercial buses, powered by CNG, compressed natural gas that will be making use of the natural gas. Yes. And we all know that the natural gas, as it's been said, is by far cheaper than the PMS, and it's by far safer.
Mr. Adirogba, I'm sure you are not oblivious of the issue that erupted in Edo State with the explosion with CNG. I'm sure you know about that. What are some of the, you are from the National Orientation Agency, what are some of those efforts that government is currently making, at least in ways to ensure that, to ensure the safety of Nigerians in that regards?
Up to now, we believe that CNG is still very, very...
It's a better alternative.
It's a better alternative.
Don't you think Nigerians are also asking questions that, is it not that when most cars are already converted to CNG, the costs would increase astronomically?
The government has assured us that it's not going to be increased.
But this same government also assured us that, the renewed hope and their agenda is what we want to do. But, most Nigerians are saying we are hungry, we are tired. The president is not in the country, the vice president is not in the country. And there are several issues of national interest that requires urgent attention. Mr. Adirogba.
You see, the issue of the economic challenge that we are presently facing in the country requires some that we need to wait a little bit more.
A little bit more?
There is light at the end of the tunnel. Let us be patient.
Are you sure those people are not inside the train, an ongoing train?
The federal government has come up with a lot of programs and activities, a lot of policies on ground economically.
Of course, we know some of these policies, but people are saying, we are not feeling the effect. The impact of these things are not felt. We are not seeing it.
We are going to see it.
Okay, we should wait. Nigerians should wait.
Let us be patient the more.
Okay.
Let us be patient the more. Very soon, we will begin to see the coming on board of things that will, cushion the effects of all these things that we are having today.
All right, in case you're just tuning in, this is Omoluwabi 87.7 FM, broadcasting live from Mokola Hill here in the city of Ibadan. And I have with me Mr. Adirogba Akambi, the Deputy Director, Human Resource, National Orientation Agency, Oyo State, representing the Director of National Orientation Agency, and he's been sharing some light as regarding some of the efforts of government towards cushioning the effect of fuel subsidy by the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You also might probably have a few questions to ask him. You can call the studio lines on 0704 700 7999, 0704 700 7999, or you can do well to also call 0805 388 8933, 0805 388 8933. We also express our profound gratitude to everyone on Facebook. We've seen a lot of people. You can also do well to share your comments and thoughts about some of these issues of interest. Mr. Adirogba, while we await some calls or comments from some of our listeners this morning. Okay, let's quickly pick this call. Hello.
Mr. Adirogba, while we await some. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Adeni, calling from Ogbomoso State.
Oh, absolutely. Issue in Ogbomoso is one of the salient things we are discussing this morning. But let's have your take on the show this morning, please.
Hello, sorry, I can't hear you clearly.
Yeah, I'm saying that let's have your take on the show this morning.
Okay. Hello, sorry, I can't hear you clearly. The network is breaking.
Let's have your take. Let's have your take on the show this morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Sorry, but I don't hear you clearly, but if I should contribute to the program.
Yes.
Honestly, we've been feeling the impact of NOA recently.
You are feeling the impact?
Their impact. They have been up and doing in our communities.
Okay.
Fine. We are facing challenge in the country. and we are all aware of the challenge. So we should just be patient for the government to put things in place.
Okay.
Fine, there are several challenges.
Okay, Mr. Oguni.
So let's just be patient.
Absolutely. Let's take this situation report from Ogbomosho. There are publications from Ogbomosho that some young people are going on the street to protest following the deplorable state of road. Can you give us that report? Let's have that report from you.
Yes, the road is very bad. At least the federal road, the road that linking we call it from Eldroba to Lautek area.
Yes.
The state of the road is very bad. So I'm still using this opportunity to call on the government to fix the road.
Fix the road.
But notwithstanding, the NOA have been doing their job of present, and their job is well noticed in the community.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Oguni from Ogbomosho. We sincerely do appreciate you. Mr. Aderogba, I think some people are already feeling some of your impacts in that regard, some of the things that you are doing.
Let me say this. Things are changing at NOA.
Things are changing?
Things are changing.
Let's hear about it.
Especially with the coming on board of our new Director General, Malam Lanre Isha Onelu.
Yes.
Since coming on board, he has practically repositioned the agency to carry out its duty. Let me add that what we are doing is a part of, personally here today, is a part of a public enlightenment and sensitization program.
Absolutely.
But the advantage we have over other media houses is that we have officers at the grassroots level, in all local government level. They are our foot soldiers that are meeting people, face-to-face interactions. So they interact with them. Presently, we have what we are doing presently now, which I don't know, you mentioned it, the National Identity Project.
Yes.
So they are all on the field now.
Okay, before I pick you up on that, let me pick this call. Let's hear what this person also has to say. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, ma'am. Your name and where you're calling from?
I'm Bosse from Ibadan. Madam
Bosse, let's have your take on the show this morning.
Well done, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
You analyst in the studio.
Thank you so much. Oh, unfortunately, we lost that call. You can do well to call us back, Madam Bosse, so that we can have your take. Mr. Aderogba, you were speaking of some of the project that NOE is currently doing. Now, let's talk about the National Identity Project. We've been seeing a lot of activities. Your team were in Oyo yesterday sensitizing stakeholders about some of those issues. Is this something you want most Nigerians to know about? At least shed more light on this project. And how best do you think is going to impact Nigerians?
The National Identity Project is our baby.
It's a new project
our new project.
Okay.
That we are carrying out.
Okay.
So it is all about the value and ethics that we should all try to imbibe. Some people thought when they had National Identity Project, they are thinking it's about National Identity Card.
Okay.
No, it's not the same
because NIMSI did something like that, National Identification Project. That's when they were issuing national cards to Nigerians. So
it's quite different.
Okay, so let's know more about it.
We come up with that. We Nigerians should try and recognize ourselves as Nigerian. We should try to imbibe the core values and ethics of Nigeria. So in doing that, the National Orientation Agency have come up with what we think is about the best way to go about it.
But
before now, whenever we are talking, we are sensitizing, we are mobilizing people, we always direct it at the citizens, asking them to be law-abiding, to be patriotic, to be disciplined, to be this, to be that. Forgetting about the authorities.
The people in power, the corridors of power. Absolutely.
So that is why we now come up with what we call National Value Charter.
Yes, National Value
Charter. Targeted at the citizens and the government. So we have 4 areas that we are carrying out our campaign. We call it 7 for 7.
7 for 7.
7 for 7.
I hope these documents would be available for members of the public to peruse.
Yes.
Okay, so we are getting this copy too.
By God's grace.
Okay.
First, we have what we call 7 core commitments. That's one we call the Nigerian promise.
The Nigerian promise.
What is Nigeria offering the citizens? In fact, we are hammering so much on that for now because we cannot be talking to the people always, asking them to be this, to be that, and neglect the government, those in power, those at the helm of affairs, those in authority. They need to do their own bit too. And we have 7 commitments that Nigeria is now offering the citizens. We have what we call equality.
Everyone being equal under the law.
Thank you very much. Everybody being equal.
But is that really achievable in Nigeria? Don't you think you, knowing people in the presidency, would want to use your power over me? Do you think that is really obtainable?
We are now knowing that it is our right.
Okay.
We are now knowing that the citizens are now knowing that we are all equal
before the law.
And let me add, before Nigeria, irrespective of your social status, ethnic or religion, we are all equal, and that we are going to let the people know that so much that henceforth we should take themselves as being equal with all others.
Absolutely.
All other citizens. We also have democracy.
Government of the people, by the people, for the people.
We thank God that one is already entrenched in the country.
Constitution of the country.
Yes. So, and we are going to still abide with that. That is one point also, one commitment that the government to Nigeria is offering the people. Democracy. Nigeria will continue to offer the people, the citizens, democracy. We also have what we call entrepreneurship and employment.
So you mean this administration want to create more jobs?
Let me say that when I was talking about the plans and programs and policy of the government.
Yes.
Government has come up with various interventions. Up to today, we have about 11 interventions.
Yes, but Nigerians are still hungry.
And especially the youths.
Yes.
Can make use of. Unfortunately, till the time I'm talking now, many youths are either not aware or they are being they are not conscious of it. Yes, thank you very much. So that is one thing that we are also going to go out to inform the people, to enlighten them, and even to encourage them to embrace.
Mr. Aderogba, I really do appreciate you. We are a bit pressed for time, but you've shared some thoughts as regards some of the activities of government. Let's take a comment on Facebook. The country is highly blessed, but corruption is heavily compressed in Nigeria like the CNG cylinder. Ready to explode. CNG is safe and manageable, but consumption isn't. Corruption, I beg your pardon, isn't. That's one of our followers, the lover of the radio, Ni Kolade, shared his thoughts as regarding that. In view of that, before we allow you go this morning, as a radio, we want to share something. Okay, let me also take this. Ari or Israel says, beautiful morning to everyone in the studio. It is now obvious the federal government really don't have the political will to end the menace in the Nigerian economy, all caused by the APC-led federal government. I'll take that. The First Lady said almost the same thing your guest has just said, that we should give them some more time to see the results of their policies that are obviously bringing hardship on the masses. That's coming from Ari or Israel. He shared that thought on Facebook. We also have Mustafa Taiwo say, good morning, sir. Keep up the good work from Olokofefe Egbeda Tuba Road, here in the city of Ibadan. Will you, in about 1 minute, do you want to react to some of the thoughts of our listeners this morning?
I want to say that the federal government is very much committed to the welfare and well-being of the citizens.
Nigerians just want to know when those things will materialize and the hunger will be off the land.
This thing for long.
Okay.
We all know that the problem didn't start yesterday. It's a long time coming, even for more than 30 years. So we've been coming up gradually to reach this point. That we are now having the serious challenges that we are having. And the federal government has started. Yeah,
Nigerians are just so concerned about when it will materialize. We want results.
We are all partners to the removal of the subsidy.
Okay.
All Nigerians, please remove the subsidy and let's see what we. And sincerely yours, it's not that I'm not also feeling the impact, but let's be realistic with ourselves. A liter of petrol today is
1,002,
1,100,
1,001, 1,003 in some climes.
So let's put it at 1,100.
But I bought at 1,002. Me.
It depends on where you buy it. You can
because I don't have the luxury of time.
I bought mine at 1,060 yesterday.
At NNPC.
Yes. So
not all Nigerians have that luxury of time to exhaust queuing.
So, but what we are saying is that let us face the reality.
The reality.
A liter of petroleum.
Yeah.
Compared to a liter of Coke. Let's see the difference. A liter of Coke is above 1,000 naira too.
So you are saying that Nigerians should not eat? We have petrol in our country, and you are comparing a liter of petrol to a liter of Coke.
If we can afford a bottle of Coke
with the current minimum wage,
yes,
Mr. Aderogba, I think that's where we have to draw the curtain with this discourse with you on the show this morning. In about 45 seconds, let's have your final shots on the show this morning. What are your words for Nigerians who are so aggrieved, pained, hungry, angry? What do you have to tell them?
Let me say this that I don't have much time to talk about. That the initiatives and the programs that the federal government is rolling out to cushion the effects of the present economic challenge.
Yeah.
We call it the social interventions. Our people have not been making use of it. I want to encourage us. We have about 11 different interventions, which I don't have the time to quickly mention them. Anybody that is interested, I even encourage our youth to have the interest.
Okay.
And make sure that they visit our local government offices. We have offices in all the 33 local government of area of Oyo State.
Oyo State.
Please visit it. I also want to talk especially about student loan meant for tertiary institutions. It's very bad.
Thank you so much.
In Oyo State,
yeah,
our students refuse to embrace the loan. It's not too good. Federal government puts more than 200 billion naira for it, and we are not making use of it.
That's all we'll be able to take, Mr. Aderogba. Like you have said, that you've spoken to Nigerian youths. We are also sending you to the federal government that the people are hungry. Efforts should be geared in the direction of ensuring that the common man can at least have life to live. Please communicate that to the people in government. We sincerely do appreciate you for sparing our time to be on the show this morning, Mr. Aderogba. We hope if we call you subsequently, you'll be willing to join us on the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, regards to members of staff at the National Orientation Agency, Oyo State. Thank you so much. That's all we'll be able to take from you. Thank you very, very much. So right now we'll go on this short commercial break, and of course when we are back, we are definitely going to be delving into the pros and cons of reforms under President Tinubu, and what are some of the concerns of people of Ogbomoso as regarding the deplorable state of the road. Don't go nowhere, we'll be right back.
At break time, when my chap needs to keep going, He's going to need his favorite snack, made with the goodness of malt, milk, cocoa, and crunchy Niger-grown maize, containing calcium, iron, and fiber.
Break time is crunch time. So give your chance this delicious crunchy delight to keep them winning all day. Milo and a Snacks, snack of future champions. Milo!
Life no suppose am like this, and that's now why millions of Nigerians they pay for everything with mobile. Dial *671# or download the new mobile app make you follow enjoy this better life.
Hello?
Hello there. I'm at the hospital right now because the kills are seriously ill. I've been on a long queue and the doctor is here to attend to me. I don't know what to do again.
You know what? How about the numbers I gave you while leaving?
Oh, the e-Dokita numbers?
Yes.
Call them right away. They will attend to you immediately.
Hello?
Darling, just like magic. Junior is playing. Even Princess is eating like an adult.
You know I've told you to calm down. Our family is covered with e-Dokita Premium Plan. With eDokita, you have access to healthcare at your fingertips. Stop wasting your productive hours while waiting in the clinic for doctor. Subscribe today to any of eDokita plans and enjoy online chat and call consult, laser therapy, medical outreach, and home care services. Simply dial 0704-714-2000 or 0701-000-8670. Log on to www.edokita.com or visit us at eDokita, number 2 Ocean Street, New Bodija, Ibadan. eDokita, inspiring wellness.
Omoluwabi 87.7 FM.
All right, people, you're welcome back. It's still the discourse right here at Omoluwabi 87.7 FM. And earlier we had the Director of Human Resource from National Orientation Agency, who spoke extensively about their project, National Identity Project. He spoke really well on that. Moving up next to the harder focus on the show, the pros and cons of reforms under President Tinubu. Just before that, we have some of this focus. Help me welcome Professor Wole Akinyemi as he joins us live in the studio this morning. Professor Wole Akinyemi, it's great having you join us.
Good morning, Icon. Happy weekend to all our listeners. It's good to be here.
Absolutely. We have Comrade Omoju join us live in the studio. Comrade Omoju, it's great having you.
Many thanks for having me once again. Good morning, Nigerians.
Good morning. Thank you so much. Let's consider the issues in relations to the reforms under this present day administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. What are some of the pros and cons? What do you think? Let me start with you, Comrade Omoju. Let me start with you. The reforms under this present government, does it actually reflect that the government truly means well for Nigerians? Because, listening to Idamit Gill, who happens to be the World Bank chief economist, we're definitely going to be listening to him this morning. He shared some thoughts that Nigeria needs about 15 years for some of these reforms to truly materialize. Do you think these are thoughts in the right direction for Nigeria to truly get to that point we so desire here to get to?
We're in a very desperate season in this country. And the approach of government, who is responsible enough to understand and truly want to address the yearnings of Nigerians should be very drastic too. Fine, we do have policies, short-term policies, medium and long-term policies. So
absolutely.
At the moment, Nigerians don't, shouldn't dwell on even the medium term. The immediate he needs to address the yearnings of Nigerians is what I expect the current government to embark on.
We also have Tayo Ajewole join us live in the studio. Tayo, it's great having you.
Good morning, Icon. Good morning, Nigerians.
Good morning, Nigerians. Prof, let me take you up on that, sir. Regarding these issues with the current reforms under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, what do you make of this? Do you think these are some of the strategic actions that will truly get Nigeria to that place we have always envisaged?
That's for me.
Yes.
Good. They are meant to be reforms, but reforms that are getting Nigeria deformed, because what we have been experiencing is deformation in every aspect of our life.
But Prof, don't you think things that matters takes time?
Things that matter takes time. Like I did use the analogy of a patient in the hospital in intensive care. If the consultant comes around and says the regime of treatment should be administered to that patient, and that patient is not responding to that treatment, it will be foolhardy for that consultant not to change strategy, to insist that that regime of treatment must be continued, because what will happen is that morbidity will be the result. The patient will pass on, and when the patient has passed on, then there is nothing hope. The whole idea of hope is lost entirely. So I think it is arrogant for anybody, whether they are in government or out of government, to think that all government policies are cast in stone and they cannot be revised.
Absolutely. Tayo Ajewole, let's have your take. What do you make of these reforms under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu? Because there have been efforts by this current administration indicating that, these things are long-term. It would be there to provide solutions to some of the lasting problems that Nigerians have been having. Do you think these are steps in the right direction by this current administration?
It's a dicey one. Steps in the right direction, maybe. But then, when you are taking a step in the right direction, what are the plans you've put in place to take those steps? Is it just about taking steps? Like I always say, why are we putting the cart before the horse? There are so many things we should have done. The president shouldn't have just come out and say subsidy is gone, and then let's say at the same time, almost 2 months after saying let's deregulate the foreign exchange, let's allow our market forces to determine anything. Definitely, IMF and the likes have been saying it's a welcome development. Nigeria is on the pathway to success at this time. But then, beyond all of that, should Nigerians die before they get to success? Because many Nigerians are already falling dead on the street as we speak. Many Nigerians can't afford to eat just 1 meal a day, not talk of eating 3 square meals. So what's the point of the reform?
Quite unfortunate.
So what's the point of the reforms that we are reforming if at the end of the day people won't be able to enjoy the benefit of the reform? As a matter of fact, they've said it will even take us so many years before we get our feet back on the ground. So I would have expected a serious government to put things in place at this time so that we can if you want to reform, don't just throw everything at Nigerians at the same time. Nigerians are not, we are not machines. Even machines at some point would have to shut down to restart and recalibrate.
Absolutely.
So it's not just, I think the government can do better.
Okay. Let's take a few comments on Facebook. Aroni Yahaya says, well done. Matthias Ogun says, keep it up. Ari or Israel says, the way out, as we usually advise, is to commercialize the oil sector and improve power supply by enhancing productivity. Empowerment to Nigerian youth via creation of job opportunities, technology, farmer supports like Oyo State government does, and state policing to end insecurities. The economy is in shambles, and the leaders, federal government, keep cajoling us. May God deliver us from these Egyptians like leaders. We also have Olukoni says, well done, hearing you live from Akobo. Just before I take Comrade Omoju, let's hear what the World Bank chief economist, these are people who are professionals, what he has to share as regarding the current economic situation in Nigeria. Don't go nowhere, we'll be right back.
Solid political commitment from the top. The price of PMS has quintupled since the subsidy cuts, imposing terrible hardship across the breadth of Nigerian society. The central bank has had to hike its policy rate by a huge 850 basis points, that's almost 9 percentage points, in the last 9 months to boost confidence in the Naira and anchor inflationary expectations. But the central bank financing of fiscal deficits has finally ended. And Governor Cardoso has been putting Nigeria, or be helping to put Nigeria on the right course, on the correct course. But this is only the beginning. Nigeria will need to stay the course for at least another 10 to 15 years to transform its economy. So I don't know if you're agreeing with me or if you're disagreeing with me. If it does that, it will transform its economy and it will become an engine of growth in sub-Saharan Africa, and it will help to transform sub-Saharan Africa. It's very difficult to do these things, but the rewards are massive. So this is the lesson from the last 40 years, as well as the experience of countries such as India, such as Poland, such as Korea, such as North.
And that's Idamit Gill, is an economist who has done that for quite some years, and he's made references in retrospect to some of the activities of other nations of the world who have to go through very difficult times to be able to achieve the kind of success that their nation is currently. And he says Nigeria needs about 10 to 15 years for us to get to that level. Prof, you know, someone who is at the aim of affairs at World Bank has that to say about our economy. What do you make of this, Prof?
I would be more comfortable to hear the opinion of our economist, homegrown economist, not somebody working with the World Bank. There is something which a kind of a conspiracy of the Western world against the rest of Africa. And because Nigeria is a potential power in Africa, they are not interested in the economic emancipation of Nigeria. They are only playing lip service to it. There is no country, go and check recent history, where they have used the dose of IMF and it has led to economic recovery. Was it in Venezuela or Zimbabwe or any other of those other countries? The man just mentioned South Korea now. He mentioned India. Is this the way all these countries developed? What these countries did was to shut the doors against all of these imperialists and looked at ways of developing themselves. I think China is a very, very good example. To think that the China of Mao Zedong, Chairman Mao, is the same China now that is competing very favorably, even threatening the leadership of America on the global stage. You will see that it's a gradual process. Let me tell you what China did, some of the things they did. What they did is that they identified some of their finest brain and sent them to some of the finest institutions around the world. But when these people, when they got qualified and they acquired the finest of such education, they came back home to develop their own home technology. And what has it resulted into? Because it's rooted in their culture. China today, anything when you see any product in the past, when they write made in China in it, you think it's inferior. But today, when you see made in China, it's a stamp of authenticity, it's a stamp of quality, it's a stamp of excellence. So it took time. That is the part Nigeria must go, not the part of these imperialists. They don't like us. That is the honest to go through. Let me tell you what they want. They want a situation in which they'll be able to buy our mineral resources cheaply, a situation in which we will be sending our fuel to them to process, and then they will import it again. They want a situation in which they will always provide arms for us. We will not be able even to produce our arms. They want a situation in which we will lack food security. And these are the people that are advising us, and we are taking it seriously. No,
absolutely. Comrade Omoju, let's have your take. Nigerians are saying, is there light at the end of the tunnel? What should Nigerians really expect from some of these reforms?
Well, the reforms, so to speak, that Nigerians at the initial stage were not, carried out, were not carried along. I've said it on this platform. There's what we call the actual needs of the people and the felt needs of the people. The felt needs of the people, as often said, is what the government often embarks on, and not the actual needs of the people. And that's why you just suddenly found the government, waking up one day saying they want to build a road from Lagos to Calabar. The 16-year-old child.
The government has said, these are efforts for Nigeria to be able to compete amongst Committee of Nations.
We are talking about addressing the food insecurity, which is a concern.
There have been several efforts by this current administration,
which is not yielding result. Now, let me say this simply, something that I know can immediately address this issue of food
let's have your
insecurity and to better the economy. Number one, I've said it. The shortening of the border is not in the interest of Nigerians. And that is what, I heard it from grapevine that lately the reason why the prices of, rice, went up is because some people now became a bit more serious at various borders and they were not able to bring some of those things in. But yet they still come in. And when they come in, the people that bring them in will tell you, oh, because of what we passed through to bring this thing in, that's why the price has increased. So why are we deceiving ourselves?
Tayo, let me take you up on that. What do you think? Is there light at the end of the tunnel? Tayo, for Nigerians, people are saying they are hungry. The government says we are putting a lot of efforts in place to ensure that Nigerians get the best. Tayo, what do you make of this?
We appreciate the effort of the government, and then we are saying kudos to them at this time. But then, let me tell the government, Nigerians are losing hope because they promised us renewed hope. Then Nigerians they are saying we are losing hope already because what's the essence of the hope if I can't afford to feed my children? What's the essence of the hope if I can't afford to pay the school fees of my children? What's the essence of the hope if I have to stay long hours at filling stations before I could get petrol for 1,200 naira? What's the essence of the hope if I can't get cooking gas for as less, even I want to get cooking gas, I can't get it at the least I could get is 1,500 naira at this point in time. So what's the essence of the hope you are giving us when you've not even implemented the 70,000 naira minimum wage at this time? So a lot of things going on. So you ask, is there a light at the end of the tunnel? Well, that's the question that should be left for the leaders to answer, because they are the ones cutting the shot at this time. They are the ones that will let Nigerians know if truly there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
At the end of the tunnel. Okay, let's go on Facebook and take a few comments. Yemi Onigegewura says, good morning, sir. Feintola Abiola says, kudos to you, boss. My take on the IMF representative statement is initially he praised the governor of CBN, Cardoso, for doing a great job, and later says it might take up to 15 years. And whatever, Nigerians should disregard the statement because it is a misleading statement. They know we are on the track and may be free from the borrowing games. That's from Feintola Abiola. Okay, right about now, we want to look into the issues in relations to the concerns about the road in Ogbomosho. Ogbomosho, so many people have been saying numerous things about that. Prof, that road has been there. They've been working on that road since 2001. It has caused numerous people to lose their lives. Most businesses have been shut down as a result of that road. In fact, the Senate committee had to summon David Umahi to the Senate on the reasons why the road has not been finally rehabilitated. And that sponsored a call by Senator Fatai Buhari representing that axis in Oyo State. And he said so many things. Prof, what do you think? That road is one of the major roads connecting south to the north, and it is still in a very deplorable state. Prof, in few seconds, what would you make about it?
You see, when people commit crime, you give them jobs to do and they don't do it, and you don't sanction them. Then other people are encouraged to continue with that kind of impunity. What happened with Ogbomoso Road is that project has been awarded not only once but several times, but for one reason or the other, the road was not constructed. The road was not rehabilitated, and it's cost a whole lot of life damage to life and property. I travel on that road frequently, and I do know that I even had occasion to sleep on that road for about 3 times overnight.
3 times?
Yes, because trailers fell on the road, blocked everywhere, and there was nowhere to go. And it's so unfortunate because if you take Ibadan out of Oyo State, I think the biggest city next to Ibadan in Oyo State is Ogbomoso, and in terms of population also. So if you look at the strategic importance of Ogbomoso to Oyo State and the economic development of Oyo State itself, that play road should not have been left at that. Not to talk that the road is the connecting point between the west and the north. So I don't know our leaders why they should leave that place to remain like that for such a very, very long time. If the people in Ogbomoso are protesting today, honestly, they have every reason.
They are currently on the street, and right now I'm joined by Honorable Akinola Adebayo. He's the chairman caucus of Ogbomoso in the Youth Parliament, and he also has something to share. What's your take on this? I saw a letter you wrote to the president, an open letter to the president on that road. What's your take?
Thank you so much. The letter is all about. We wrote an open letter to the president.
Has it been received? Acknowledged?
Yes, it has been received. We sent it up there, and of course, we copied some of our stakeholders in the state, and of course, even the former Minister for Youth and Sport, Chief Sunday Dare, to also please help us augment and let our voice be heard in Ogbomoso, especially the youth. And we, as representatives of the youth, we told them, please, fine, protests can go on, but let us not violate about. We know what protests can lead to. So let us write officially to them. Let us be, let's find another way how we can let them know the urgent need for the rehabilitation of that road. We have done a documentary in the course of the week. We did, I don't know, you saw the video, it's posted online. We did just to let them know that, see, this is not from anywhere, it is from us. Help us. That is in fact, it affects the economic value of that town. A lot of things cannot go on. Activities have been put a pause. And of course, the major vehicle plying that road are trucks. So that road needs to be done. Something they have started since 2003 for over that's about how many years? 14 years now. That's a long wait. Please, we need them to do something about that road.
There were reports that your old Oba, yes, Olaoye Gandhi,
yes, sir,
is making efforts in that regards to be able to provide relief for people.
Yes. He apparently he put up some people committee to actually look into that road, and of course he's ready to spend money, but it might not be as enough as the federal government adding to it.
So what's your call to federal government?
Our call to federal government is to please. We need an urgent rehabilitation of that road. That road has become a den for a lot of people are dying. Things cannot go on. I can recall how many times I've slept even on plying that road. Also,
you feel so sad.
Yeah, of course. Yes, it's sad that's the road that is linking other northern states, and of course, and nothing can happen. And it's interest you to know that those trucks, what they carry at times, are perishable goods. So while on that road, that thing will perish there. So it's sad.
So what's your final word for government?
Well, please, we need the government to please the necessary quarters that need to be put to check to come and do that road to ensure that things can go on and come. You can resuscitate the activities on that road. They need to bring them back and do the needful.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Honorable Adebayo. Thank you. Comrade Omoju, you're in 45 seconds. What do you make of that road, Ogbomoso? Or your road, or your Ogbomoso Ilorin road?
You can see what I was saying the other time regarding the felt and the actual needs of the people. Which one should be more in focus of the government, if not this kind of a road, than going to start another one from Lagos?
Coastal road, yeah, they are considering the economic value, but the people are saying, come, this is the road that is connecting the west and the north.
Yeah, I guess exactly. So you can see the priority of the government. But I want to give kudos to those youth, and I want to use this medium to sensitize other youth across the nation. Let's not give this government rest concerning our welfare and what we need.
Let's not give the government rest concerning our welfare. Tayo, on that Ogbomoso road, what's your shots on it?
It's just so sad. At times I just think and I feel that road has been approved. It has been budgeted for, and it has been approved, and then the budget has been approved, and they've spent money, they've released money. Government has released money since 2003 or thereabouts, and then up until now, it's still the way it is. And I'm still asking. Some people are still walking freely on the street. They are not in jail at this time. Who is doing so? What exactly? And you hear those big names still coming out to say they are the ones you see on national TV. They are pleading to Nigerians. Let's reflect the mood of the nation at this time. And ask the question: what's the point?
What's the point? Thank you so much, Tayo. Professor Ole Akinyemi, I'll be pressed for time in 30 seconds. What's your final shot for Nigerians listening at home and abroad?
We are subsidizing corruption in Nigeria, and that is
subsidizing corruption.
Absolutely. Look at what happened with Lagos-Ibadan Express Road. For years, that contract was given, that it was awarded to somebody who was the former party chairman of a big party in Nigeria here. That person later became the Minister of Works, and nothing happened for several years until that road is now being rehabilitated. I can assure you that what happened with Ibadan Express Road is what happened to Ogumosho Ilorin Road. So let government do the needful until we are ready to wield the big stick and punish corruption. We are not going anywhere in this country.
All right, that's all we'll be able to take on the show this morning. Tayo, what's your parting shot on the show this morning?
My parting shots, just like the youth in Ogumosho are taking a very laudable step at this time. Like I will always say, governance is a collective effort. Let's just all participate. Let's let the government know what we need at this time, and then let's participate as good citizens too.
Comrade Omoji, in 10 seconds.
The government at the moment should lead truly by examples.
Prof, 2 seconds.
The disconnect between the leader and the followership should be bridged.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us this morning on the discourse right here at omoluwabi 87.7 FM. Don't forget that we give you the best in news, talk, and quality music. Join me same time, same station on this dial next week Saturday for another issues of national discourse. Till then, I remain Stephen Adedigba.